Hello, welcome back to the Mobile Motorbike Mechanic channel. I'm Steve. Today we're heading off to a little village just north of Coventry. Got a set of brake pads to fit on a VTX1300. So we'll see you when we get there. Right folks, so VTX1300, seen this one on the channel before actually. We did a service on this one. Go back and a playlist and you can see that one. That's where I burnt my arm. Anyway, so we're going to be doing rear brakes on this. Now it's underneath this pannier, so first thing we're going to have to do is just going to have to release this pannier. This might not be the same with your bike, but anyway, we'll get that off and then we can get down to the caliper. Yeah, drop that one. Oh no, you bastard. Gone. Right, so we can release that pannier. Come on. Off you come. There we go. Right, so here we are at the business end. The reason why we're here, full disclosure, the chap had a rear tyre fitted, not by us, we don't do tyres. He had a rear tyre fitted. They said, oh, your pads are really low and it's all looking a bit rusty. So the chap who owns this one, he phoned me up. I came out, I've rebuilt the rear brake caliper and I was gonna fit some pads in it. And unfortunately, we got sent the wrong pads. So that's the reason why we're back here just doing these pads. Unfortunately, you missed out on the brake caliper rebuild because camera lady had to work. So there you go. Anyway, right, we're gonna get these pads out. So first thing we need to do is get this cap out from here. Now, you need a really good fitting screwdriver and you've got to get onto it square. If your caliper, if there's something in the way, don't try get into it at an angle because you'll chew the end of this and then you're in a world of hurt. So let's get a decent fitting screwdriver. Right, so decent fitting screwdriver. Get onto it nice and square. And oh no, that's not coming out. So what we'll do, it's a bit small. There we go. Right. There. It is. Like I say, if you don't have a decent fitting screwdriver, don't even bother because you'll chew them up and then you've been in trouble. So, with that one out, you can then see in there we've got a 5mm Allen key and that's the pin that holds in the pads. Right, and the same again, decent fitting Allen key, and then you can undo them. There we go. So all we're going to do is just loosen that off. So that's ready to come out now, but we ain't going to pull it out yet because 12mm, 14mm. The reason why we're undoing these ones is because now we want to get the caliper off to push the piston back in. But with the caliper attached, you can undo all of that lot without everything wobbling around. I think the camera lid is a bit cold because the camera is shaking. Right, that's that one undone, and that's that one undone. Okay, right, so one out, two out. Now as the caliper comes off, if you look in there, you'll see there's a cutout, and that's where the brake pads lock into this panel, lock into this. So as it comes out, you see that's all coming out as part of it. And then you can remove the pin, take the pads out, and you've got a nice shiny brand new piston in there because we only replaced it just the other day. So we've got to push that piston back, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the front of the bike and check the rear master cylinder reservoir. So come with me to the front. Right, so we've come to the front of the bike, so rear brake pedal, rear master cylinders here, or master cylinder and reservoir. So we're just going to pop this one undone. And the reason we want to pop this one undone is we just want to see how much brake fluid is in the reservoir. Like I say, I did rebuild this the other day, but I can't actually remember. So I've just taken the cap off, the cover off, and then I can undo the cap. You can actually see we're at the lower level. Don't know if you can see that on the camera, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull that out of there. There we go. Right, now as I'm pushing the piston back in the caliper, this level will start to rise, and what we don't want is we don't want it to overflow. Right, so piston wind back tool, what we're going to do is we're just going to open it up a little bit, pop it in place. So that's just going to wind back the piston into the caliper, and if we keep an eye on the front as we wind back, you can see, I can see from here that that level, the fluid is actually rising in the pot. Now we're nearly back all the way, and there we go, that's it. Right, that's the piston wound all the way back in. So piston's all the way back in again, and we didn't overflow on the master cylinder. So if you've looked at your master cylinder and you think, oh, my fluid's low, and topped it up, and then you come to change your brake pads, that's when you're going to get in trouble, because your master cylinder's going to overflow. Right, brand new set of EBC brake pads. Let's open them up and see what we got. Brand new pair. These are the old ones, and as we can see, yep, they're the right ones, but of course he's had his money's worth out of them, eh? You can see old versus new, that's the difference. This is all braking material, all friction material, so they definitely needed changing. Right, we'll get these ones fitted and we'll get it all back together for him. So first things first, this is where you need 25 hands, because you've got to hold the brakes. So you see this little cutout on this caliper bracket, that's where the brakes pads sit into, and then the brake caliper itself comes down, and then it fits on like that. It's a bit of a game. All right, one in there, one in there. Get it all just started. Alright, so with the two caliper bolts done back up again, your pins in, you want to check in there to make sure that your brake pads are on this bracket. So you can see in there that they are in there. And then you need to check the rear or the inboard brake pad, and the best way of doing that is go around the other side of the bike and look through the wheel, and you can see to make sure that that inside brake pad is also hooked in there. Right, so with those pads in place, we've got the 2 caliper bolts done up. I'm just going to pop a little bit of anti-seize onto the caliper pin itself, onto the pad retaining pin. And that will help us in the future get that out. And we can nip him into the caliper. There we go. And then we can pop our little plug back in again with a decent fitting screwdriver. There. And then the last thing to do is go back to the go back to the front, and we'll check the operation of the brake and make sure we've got enough fluid in the master cylinder. Right, so we finished at the back end. Here we are back at the front. So as we pump this brake, it's going to push the piston out, bring the pads together, and we're going to see that the fluid level will go down again. So there's no brake there, no brake, but you can see that level is dropping. And there we go. Actually, back brake working again. And we've got plenty of fluid in the reservoir there, so I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring that reservoir, because obviously the bike's on a side stand, it's leaning over a bit. I'm just going to bring that up to horizontal, and you can see the level is actually bang on the upper mark there, which is great. So we can refit the cap, and then we can refit the little cover and refit the bolt. We'll just nip that one off. All done. Rear brake's working. Happy days. For some reason that one's a different size. Done. Right folks, nice quick simple job, that one all done. One last check we will perform. We've just got to go in and get the keys off the customer just to make sure the brake light works. After you've been messing around with brakes, it's always best just to check these things. But other than that, yeah, we're all finished here. So nice quick easy video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you again on the next one.